let's get to working on this a little bit. And roll it forward if I can. So I created some more room back here so I can really start working on whatever this piping is. I'm assuming it's for intercooler, stuff like that, and figure out where everything needs to actually go. It looks like this pipe is actually attached to the water air intercooler there, and then I need to figure out what this is. It's kind of stuffed in there. That looks like a wastegate dump. It's steel. It's definitely not aluminum. But yeah, I'm actually going to get started on this because I want to see this thing run. I know you guys want to see it run, and it's just going to be freaking awesome. Oh yeah, that definitely is a wastegate dump because you can see that there. And I'm assuming you probably had it just shoot straight down or off to the side. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to find out. It's just going to be bonkers seeing this thing in action. I cannot wait. Hope you guys are excited as I am. Anyways, welcome back to the channel here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to be working on this today. And let me know what you guys really do want to see. I know you guys definitely want to see this on the channel, this K-swap build, but let's dive into it. Okay, I know down here I definitely need to adjust the shifting linkage because it'll move left and right. No, that was trunk closing. It'll move left and right just fine, but like first, second, third, and fourth, it's not catching the gears fully. Like if I put it in first or second or third or whatever, it's not going into gear and it's not staying in gear. So I need to adjust the shifter linkage. Of course, I need to figure out where this is actually going to come pipe 2, if it just goes straight over from here into here, or if it goes into this one. I just need to figure out what he did with piping there, but should be fairly simple. Let's dive into it. Should have a drinking game on how many times I can say let's dive into it in one video, right? Okay, this trunk lid is getting in my way, so I'm going to take it off right now. All right, now I got all the room for all of the activities, so let's see. We got, looks like some AN lines that go over to this water box. They come over here. I'm assuming this is where a pump went. And then, let's see, there's another AN line there that runs back around here as well. So let's see, there's 2 lines, so there's 3 lines that come around here. So one of these comes from the box, which is this one right here, this one, and this other one. All right, so it looks like this bottom one here goes to the heat exchanger. This one goes to the bottom of the box. This one goes to, I would assume, this one comes back from the heat exchanger, but this one would have to go to the pump. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into exactly how that goes because now it's confusing me. Now it makes sense. All right, so this one comes out of this into the pump, pumps it into the intercooler, pumps back out, down into the heat exchanger, back up, and then back into the water box. So now it makes sense. We're good. There is a jumbled mess of wires back here, which I personally am not a fan of as of right now, and I need to figure out what the heck is going on. Especially keeping them away from this exhaust, because I definitely don't need any electrical fires if all the wires melt together. Let's see what I can find out. All right, so I just went to my shed and I found this turbo blanket that I think it was a little too big for the T3 turbo I was going to put on that, but it fits perfect on this. It may need a little bit of finagling, but it fits absolutely perfect, and I'm happy I actually kept that because I was debating on getting rid of it. So this is why you never get rid of stuff. You just never know what projects are going to come along. See, I have ADHD, automotive hoarding and dismantling disorder, or automotive dismantling and hoarding disorder, where I just keep everything I take off of the vehicles. It's exactly what ADHD means. I'm actually really blown away by all the welds on the frickin' turbo manifold and the downpipe. I'm like, this just looks really good and like really good quality. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I'm really happy with this. I'm also going to pull plugs on this real quick just to kind of see what they look like. This thing did run. I don't know if it ran with the turbo on it, but it did run at some point. So I'm going to check plugs and just kind of see what they look like. That is definitely a fouled plug. That does not look the best. That is completely black. So this thing was running stupid rich. That's okay. I'll throw some new plugs in this, and at least cylinder one looks fouled. Doesn't mean the rest of them are. So let's see. All right, looks like we got another one here that's just completely fouled black, just not the best looking. Well, there they are all laid out. They are NGK plugs, so I just swing by AutoZone at some point and get a new set. Should be pretty simple. But yep, I wish I had a bore scope because I'd look down in each of these cylinders and see what they look like. But unfortunately, I do not. I'm not going to worry about getting the plugs today because I also need to get oil and oil filter for this thing as well. But I need to figure out what to get an oil filter for, if it's just Acura NSX, or sorry, Acura RSX Type S. I don't know if the filters are different. I'm assuming they're all the same, but oil filter, oil change on it, do plugs, try to see if I can get it to fire. That's all I can do. But before I can get it to fire, I definitely need to get turbo oil feed and oil drain on this, and coolant. I don't know where coolant feed is supposed to come from and go, but yeah, we're gonna find out. Messing around with intercooler piping here, I figured out how the turbo piping was designed to go here. Turbo, of course, gets air here, pipes in through here, gets piped into the intercooler, piped right back into the intake manifold right over here. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I like it. Gets the job done. That is a pretty interesting intake manifold as well. I'm really, really excited to see how this whole thing runs, but need to figure out also coolant, because I see this coolant hose here that goes into the head, and I don't see any coolant lines that come from the radiator. Interesting. Now, going through wiring back here, I'm finding like this long harness, and I was like trying to look at the connectors, and I was like, well, this doesn't look like it would connect to this Honda. So I was looking around and I realized taillights aren't plugged in, so this is the OEM Toyota harness. And then I looked even further, this looks like this would plug into the Honda. So I'm gonna mess with that here for a second and just kind of see what we're working with. makes this area look quite a bit better. I have this connector and I see it runs kind of like right under the turbo down there, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to move that because I don't want this melting together, especially for the computer for the car. But I think I'm gonna go through, cause like this is like, I don't know, 4 gauge, something like that, but I'm like, it needs to be quite a bit longer, but it's also running down there near the hot exhaust. I'm like, I kind of just want to go through the wiring of this and just kind of make it a bit better, just because I don't want anything melting, catching on fire, anything bonkers. So I'm gonna have to order some stuff. But looking at this and what he has plugged in here, I'm not exactly sure where the Honda plugs in. I'm assuming those connectors here, and then this one plugs into these relays that he has attached to this little connector that goes under this. We're gonna find out. Let's see. Okay, Honda guys, tell me if that is normal. On this like Honda K Pro, I'm not sure if that is not supposed to be plugged in. There's like 3 connectors that are just missing. I'm assuming that's probably for something that has like a BCM and it needs to communicate with the ECM, but I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know in the comments down below. But everything is connected there. This looks like I could plug into that. Let's see. Let's find out. This is kind of a jumbled mess, but here, let's switch you guys. Alright, found one more connector that plugs into there, but only a few pins are in there. That's kind of weird. 2 more connectors missing, but going back through the harness, I found this one that says fan control, and I don't know if this is supposed to be fan control for the engine bay fan over here, or if this is actually supposed to be cooling fan control, because I would assume it may have both, but ideally, because it's a Honda engine, I don't think they'd be looking for a secondary cooling fan, so I'm gonna guess this is for radiator cooling fans. And then I gotta figure out where this plugs into. All right, I just emptied out this bin here that it was filled with a bunch of parts that go to this thing, and I found a bunch of goodies, so like some catch cans in here. Found this water pump that is supposed to be for the water to air intercooler. I just need to make sure it works because I remember he said that I needed a new one, and I don't think, unless this is what he meant, because it isn't going to work with the AN fittings. I'm not sure. I'm going to look at that. But aside from that, of course, I have piping. I found some K Pro stuff for this Honda and a bunch of things in this box, like some wiring and a lot of information that should be able to help me out. I've also found more interior bits, an exhaust manifold piece, and what looks to be like a manual boost controller here, which should be pretty interesting to try to run. I found this pipe, which I'm not sure what goes to, and then down over here, I found this pipe, which is where we're going to fill coolant, but I think I can't find another pipe that's this tiny in this stuff that was sent with the vehicle. So I'm going to have to make something that goes down here all the way down back behind the fuel filter. You can kind of see the metal pipe right there, but I need to make it connect with this so I can be able to put coolant in it and be able to get this thing fired up properly. I found even more interior bits inside of here and a lot of extra things that are just really going to come in handy. And I don't know what that is. That's niche. Isn't that like a wheel company? I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, there's a bunch of clamps. I'm gonna need to get some like T-bolt clamps or something. But one of the coolest things I found, which I think I may have shown in another video, was these forged rods that at some point I'll be able to put in. I also found this little wiring harness that says R/B rev lights. I'm assuming red and blue rev lights. I don't know if that's something that's up on the dash for like shift indicator. But honestly, I'm really happy with how this is coming and turning out. It's turning to be an interesting project. I'm gonna have to fab some stuff probably like that coolant pipe, but it's really coming along. I really like it. Let me show you guys this turbo too. It's really cool. So if I pop off this little cover, get off there. This thing looks pretty bonkers. Like I don't even know. I don't want to run a filter on this just because I want to hear all the spoolie noises. And I don't know, this thing's just going to be so much fun. I think I've hit a stopping point in this video. I know I need to get plugs, need to get oil and a new filter, and figure out what I'm going to do for coolant on this. And then I'm also going to have to figure out what to do for turbo oil drain. I'm probably not going to run coolant feed. It should be okay as long as I keep the ports basically disconnected, just so no heat pressure builds up, anything like that inside of there. Turbo feed, got the, my brain stopped there for a second, like it just completely stopped. Don't even know, but I got the turbo feed line right here, which I'm going to connect, and then basically hook up turbo drain, do the oil change, oil and filter, and maybe try to do a first start on this here later this week. Of course, I won't have any water in here to be able to run the intercooler, which will be perfectly fine. I mean, people don't even run intercoolers sometimes, and with it being like freezing out, it should be fine. But also thinking I need to clean this water to air intercooler box because this thing has got, it looks like mold and a bunch of oil and stuff growing in here. It's, I mean, oil can't grow in there, but it looks like mold growing in there, and it's not the best. So that is one thing I need to definitely fix at some point as well. But I really hope you guys are enjoying this video, and I hope you guys are enjoying this content as much as I am trying to make it. I'm going to consistently try to work at this as much as I can to be able to get this thing running as quick as possible, because I really want to drive this, especially in the summertime with the T-tops. It's just going to be such a fun car, and I'm too excited. Like, I don't even know what to do. Don't even know what to say. It's just something I'm really, really looking forward to. But hope you guys like, subscribe, share, and just please comment down below. Remember, don't quit on a body that won't quit.